Out of all the Western military vehicles delivered to Ukraine, the American M2 Bradley fighting vehicles have distinguished themselves as some of the most versatile and effective machines in modern warfare. They have saved countless Ukrainian lives, inflicted severe damage on Russian troops, and left behind a trail of destruction during intense frontline battles, most recently when they engaged Russian forces hiding in tree lines near the small village of Voron. Though Voron may appear insignificant at first glance, consisting of little more than one stretch of road, a few scattered buildings, and surrounding farmland, it holds strategic importance due to its location in the Dnipro region, beyond the Donetsk borders, where Russia currently controls nearly 70% of the territory. Initially, Vladimir Putin had declared intentions to seize 4 Ukrainian regions, Donetsk, Luhansk, Zaporizhia, and Kherson, but as the war drags on, Russian forces have marched further into areas like Dnipropetrovsk, Sumy, and beyond, with Putin himself publicly stating that all of Ukraine belongs to Russia. His remarks at the St. Petersburg International Economic Forum in June reiterated this, saying that Ukraine and Russia are one people and that any land where a Russian soldier sets foot is Russian land. Despite experts' estimates that conquering all of Ukraine could take decades, Putin persists in his campaign, pushing forward with costly assaults that bleed resources, lives, and equipment, but still grant Russia limited territorial gains. The attempted Russian capture of Voron was carried out by the 5th Tank Brigade, which prematurely claimed success before colliding with the fierce resistance of Ukraine's 225th Separate Assault Regiment. This regiment, forged in the fires of the Battle of Kharkiv, had already proven its worth in key battles including Bakhmut, often described as Europe's bloodiest since the Second World War, as well as Avdiivka, Chasiv Yar, and even offensive operations into Russian territory during the 2024 Kursk campaign. Known for its elite status, modern equipment, and successful strikes against Russian commanders, the 225th once again demonstrated its effectiveness by recapturing Voron almost immediately after Russian troops announced its fall. A released video captured the Ukrainian counterattack, showing pairs of Bradleys advancing with ease, maneuvering through obstacles, and driving down Voron's main road into tree-lined areas where Russian soldiers were concealed. Relying only on their infantry weapons and without air or artillery support, the Russian troops stood no chance against the Bradleys' devastating firepower. The footage showed the vehicles unleashing 25mm M242 Bushmaster autocannon fire, weapons capable of delivering up to 200 rounds per minute at ranges of 2,000 meters. While a small explosion, possibly from a drone or RPG, was seen near one Bradley, the vehicle suffered no damage, highlighting Russia's lack of effective anti-armor capabilities. Though casualty numbers were not officially released, it is unlikely many Russian troops survived the encounter. Ultimately, Voron remains under Ukrainian control, with Bradleys ready to strike again at a moment's notice. The incident carries mixed implications. On one hand, it confirms that Russia is indeed advancing into the Dnipro region, creating a new defensive front for Ukraine beyond Kherson, Donetsk, Luhansk, and Zaporizhia. Ukraine's general staff acknowledged as much in a late August statement, reporting continued control of settlements like Zaporizhia and Novogeorgievka while inflicting heavy losses on Russian invaders. Yet open-source intelligence confirmed small Russian advances across the region's borders, marking the first verified incursion into Dnipropetrovsk territory. Daily artillery and aerial strikes continue to pressure Ukraine's defenders, with the Kremlin openly declaring intentions to establish a so-called security buffer zone. Despite this, Russia's incremental approach is plagued by poor equipment and reckless tactics. The Russian military frequently sends poorly equipped troops into Ukrainian land with little more than rifles, motorbikes, and pickup trucks, lacking armor or tanks to support them. Facing Ukrainian Bradleys, Abrams tanks, and Leopard 2s, these troops stand little chance, reflecting Russia's growing shortage of modern weaponry. Ukraine's strategy of stabilizing fronts and launching timely counterattacks has paid off, particularly near Pokrovsk, where Russian advances collapsed due to overextension and lack of supplies. Analysts have criticized the Kremlin's unsustainable assaults, while highlighting Ukraine's tactical intelligence and resourcefulness. Voron is just one more example where Russia's attempts to claim small villages backfired, with Bradleys ensuring Ukrainian dominance on the battlefield. Ukraine has received over 300 Bradleys, organized into multiple battalions. Although around 100 have been lost to destruction or capture, 6 battalions reportedly remain in active service. The M2A2 variant supplied to Ukraine, introduced in 1988, still carries significant firepower and defensive capabilities, including TOW anti-tank missiles, strong armor, and impressive mobility. These vehicles have proven reliable in both defensive and offensive roles, often used by Ukraine as light tanks or spearhead vehicles to lead assaults. Videos and reports from 2023 onwards show Bradleys destroying Russian armored vehicles and infantry groups, earning even reluctant praise from Russian analysts. Studies of captured Bradleys concluded that the vehicle surpasses the Russian BMP-3 in protection, firepower, and operational efficiency, with recommendations for Russian designers to learn from its engineering. Meanwhile, Ukraine has innovated further by upgrading Bradleys with protective cages and rubber armor to defend against drone attacks, extending their battlefield longevity. The Bradleys' continued presence ensures Russia will face significant resistance in every attempted advance, with Ukraine's proven ability to repel and punish overextended Russian assaults. In the bigger picture, the battle for Voron reflects the broader dynamic of the war. Russia presses forward with brute force, often overextending and suffering heavy losses, while Ukraine counters with modern equipment, strategic timing, and determination. Bradleys have become not just symbols of Western support, but critical assets reshaping the battlefield. Russia may continue to push into Dnipro and beyond, but with every attempt, the cost in soldiers and resources rises, while Ukraine proves its resilience and capacity to hold the line.